Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. First thing is that I wanted to thank all of you for all of the support and all of the feedback that you gave me on the honey cake made to order video. I am actually so touched that so many of you enjoyed the video and that a lot of you enjoyed the detail shots that I provided. So today I have the glitter tail review slash try on haul. I'm actually wearing one of the dresses that I ordered from Glitter Tail, and then right behind me is the other JSK that I ordered from Glitter Tail. So just to give some background, I ordered from Glitter Tail I think sometime in May of 2019. I think it was May or June of 2019. I originally placed an order for this JSK, the mint one beside me, and then about a month later I actually saw the print for this JSK that I'm wearing right now. When I saw this print, the Facebook post had a one piece, so it was a one-piece design, but I really liked the fabric. So I messaged Glitter Tail and asked if I could add this JSK to my current order, and then they let me know that it was going to be $125 US plus shipping per dress. When I added on this second JSK, the one that I'm wearing right now, they also asked me if I wanted to actually add a matching head bow. So this is the one that I'm wearing. And then a few weeks later, there was no updates for a while, and then a few weeks later, sometime in July, I want to say mid-July, end of July, they messaged me and then showed me some progress photos. So the first progress photo was for this mint JSK. I will show a photo of the Facebook post here when they first showed me the progress photo, and then a few days later they sent me another progress photo for this JSK and the head bow as well, and I'll show a photo of it here as well. So when they sent me the progress photos, they also asked to confirm my name and my shipping address as well as my phone number, since I had requested EMS shipping. And then a few days after that, I didn't hear anything. I didn't really get a tracking number. I forgot what I was thinking of there. I didn't get a tracking number or anything like that. But then about a week or two later, a package showed up. So they shipped the two JSKs together. I will double check my messages and my PayPal to confirm how much both dresses plus the EMS shipping were in total, and I'll put a photo of it over here. But other than that, I think that if I was going to change anything about the order process, it would be that for my bust, I think I would decrease the amount. So in the measurements that I gave, I typically have 115 centimeters for a bust. That would be about, I think, 46 to 47 inches. I don't use inches often. I usually go by centimeters for measurements. And when I gave them the 115 centimeter size, when the JSKs came, both of them were too big in the chest and okay everywhere else. They aren't a perfect fit, and I'll show you later on the full body shots and the try on portion. So this is the kind of Astro style JSK that I altered or requested to be created in this style of a JSK. So this red bow here is removable, so it's attached by a pin and you can take it off. The actual bodice here, if I could change anything, I think I would just want the full front to have just this one red strip and then all the rest is the blue. So I wouldn't want these red stripes here fitting diagonally. I don't quite like the look of the pattern that way. It's not quite my favorite. It's not terrible though. I think it's still a cute JSK. The front bow here is also removable, so there's a pin attached to the back, and then the actual front here, the red is supposed to match with this red middle piece, and then the waist ties here at the back is also removable, so there are buttons on the side that can be removed, so if you don't want to have the waist ties. I decided to wear the waist ties, and I very rarely use waist ties, so this kind of tells you just how loose this JSK can be. So if I take out the waist ties, just give me 1 second. So this is the JSK without the waist ties, and there's so much stretch to this JSK that I think in terms of measurement, it could probably accommodate someone who is 20 centimeters larger than my measurements, just because the bust area here also has a lot of space. So you'll see there's like, I can fit almost probably both of my hands in there. And I'm also wearing a very loose blouse, so this blouse actually hangs a lot lower, but the way that the JSK is cut is kind of supporting the blouse's sleeves. There is a side zipper here, so if you ever needed to take off this JSK without pulling it on and off, you can also use the side zipper. Partial shearing in the back stretches actually quite a bit, as you can see. In terms of the length of the skirt, I think it's perfect for my height. For reference, I'm about 5'3", 5'4", and it comes to just below my knee, and it does have a little bit of weight to it. So the petticoat that I'm using is one from Maxissima. It's not the poofiest petticoat. It'll actually need a sturdier, maybe thicker petticoat that's able to support the fabric, just because of how weighted it is. There is lining inside the here, so there's this blue portion as lining under the main fabric. They also added on the lacing at the bottom of the JSK, and I think that's a really nice detail. The actual seams, so the sewing of the JSK, I have no complaints about. All the seams are finished. There was no loose threads when I got the dress, so everything, there was no loose threads hanging, there was no loose threads on the dress itself. It was a little bit wrinkly, but I just hung it for a few days essentially, and then most of the wrinkles on the dress were gone after the few days that I just left it hanging. In terms of design, I do like the color on this one as well. It doesn't have the ribbon like this one here, but it does have these pearlescent buttons down the middle, and Glittertail was actually kind enough to give me extra buttons, I guess in case I ever needed to replace these. The buttons down the middle here are exactly the same as the buttons for the waist ties. Similar to the other JSK, this front piece here, the bow, is removable, and just like this other JSK, the issue that I have with this one is that the chest area here is too large. As you can see, I can actually fit my hands in here. I could probably fit both hands on one side. There's quite a bit of room, and if I could change anything, I think it would be to ask them to have a smaller chest size. And similar to the other JSK, there is the partial shearing here at the back, which is very, very forgiving. The waist tie here does help to cinch in the waist, but as you can see, if I remove the waist ties, so when I remove the waist ties, there is this much space for the waist. It does sit a little bit more snug than this JSK, but there's quite a bit of stretch. I think, again, it would be a good 20 centimeters more space. So if your measurements are 20 centimeters or so larger than mine, this JSK could probably fit you. It will be a little bit snug in terms of fit, but there is just quite a lot of room in this JSK that I don't really need, I guess. So in terms of the bodice length, I think that's great. In terms of the JSK length, again, I'm wearing the same Maxissima petticoat that I was wearing for this JSK, so there's not a lot of poof, and this dress does have a little bit more weight than say your typical AP JSK, so the fabric is a little bit heavier. And this one also sits slightly below my knee. Again, my knee is right there, and the JSK sits about a good 2 or 3 inches below that. But in terms of length, I actually prefer this. And again, there's a lot of detail at the bottom. We have some lace at the end, and there's also this really pretty kind of gold silver trimming that's around the skirt part of the JSK. It's also around the ribbon here. It's also on the collar here, and also down the middle portion here. I really like their choice of the silvery gold. As I mentioned in my honey cake unboxing though, I was kind of hesitant on what I want to do with this JSK. I wasn't sure if I want to sell it or not. I'm still on the fence just because of the way it fits. I think that maybe it might be better in the hands of someone who might wear it more, or who would benefit from having this extra room here. But then the only thing is that the bodice might be a little bit too short for them. Or in terms of the actual design, I still do really like the way this JSK looks. I love that the bodice is a good length for my torso. I do like the length of the JSK. I would just want this chest area to be a little bit more snug or more fitted for my chest area. And in terms of the craftsmanship, this JSK also has really nice seams. So all the seams are finished, they're fully serged. There was no loose threads. The buttons themselves are actually sewn very securely. As you can tell when I took off the waist ties earlier, I wasn't being very cautious to remove them. And these buttons on the waist tie area are actually very secure. I don't think that they're gonna fall out suddenly unless I like completely ripped it off, but they're quite secure on here. The ribbon here, the removable ribbon, as you can tell, in terms of sewing, it's just sewn on for the pin part, and then this part of the ribbon is probably where the craftsmanship is a little bit okay. Essentially, they just hand sewed this part to secure the ribbon. But otherwise though, this ribbon is also very, very pretty. And I do like that it is removable, so in terms of the way the JSK sits, you can have it without or with. Because of how loose this JSK can be, I prefer to have the ribbon here in the middle. So in terms of my overall opinion of Glitter Tail, I would say that if you are in the plus size market struggling to find some cute JSKs that would fit you, or if you're even straight sized, petite sized, just anybody who's interested in the Glitter Tail prints, I would say they are a good option to look into. They're quite affordable, so being able to custom size your dress and also customize the style of the dress, so you can go with a JSK, you can make a skirt, you can make an OP. I know they recently also created kind of a cute OG set that someone requested, I think. But basically, your imagination is the limit on the style of dress that you want, and Glitter Tail, I find, does very well to execute that style of dress. But in terms of size and fit, for me personally, it's a little off. I don't know if I'd want to try and maybe adjust the measurements I give them, if that might give me a better fitting JSK in terms of the chest area. But again, in terms of the bodice length, the skirt length, the style itself, I find those were great. It's just in terms of the bust and the amount of stretch on the JSK, which kind of surprised me. In terms of quality, I think it's great. The seams are all finished, there was no loose threads. The dresses were mildly wrinkled from shipping, but I didn't even need to steam them all that much. So that was great for me, saved a lot of time. In terms of affordability, I think $125 USD plus shipping on top of it is pretty affordable for having a dress that's custom sized to you and a dress design that's also customized to what you want it to look like. I think $125 is a steal. In terms of pros and cons, I would say some of the cons might be that there's no resale value. If anything, you probably won't even get the value that you paid for the JSK just because of how custom it is for your sizing, the amount of fabric that Glittertail has. Someone might want to just get a new JSK for the $125 USD rather than paying for someone else's sizing or paying for someone else's JSK that might not be the perfect fit for them. Another one I think would be the length of time. So I didn't actually get these JSKs until near the end of August, beginning of September. And I started this order process in May for this mint JSK. So there is a bit of a wait. I wouldn't say it's too bad. I mean, Honey Cake made to order was like 6-7 months of waiting. So it's not too bad. But if you're thinking that you can get a custom sized, custom made JSK or OP and get it next week, that's not very realistic. But the wait is also similar to, say, Lady Sloth. I've had a few orders with Lady Sloth and the order turnaround is about 6 weeks and then give 2 weeks for shipping. So you're looking at about a month and a half essentially. Speaking of Lady Sloth, if you want me to review them next, please leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for next future videos, also let me know. If you have any feedback about your Glittertail experience, please share them as well. Maybe I did something wrong on my end, so let me know if you've ordered from Glittertail and you like the fit as well. I'm also going to insert some detailed shots here. So feel free to stay tuned so that you can see the close-ups of the print themselves. Or if you'd rather move on, watch some other videos, maybe see my honey cake unboxing if you haven't already. Otherwise, thank you for watching my video and I hope you all have a great day. Bye!